Alright guys, so in this video we are going to see how to use get versus post. So I see a lot of people having a doubt like when to use get or when to use post request while sending and receiving data from the server. So let us use this video to clear it out. So let us have a basic architecture where we have a server and here I have my client. Yes, so this is my server and here I have my client. Yes. So now, whenever the client makes a request from the server, it is a GET request. How do we understand this? There is a simple method which I use. So let me just go over here. Let us consider this as you. Yes, this is you and this is your server. This is the data. Yeah. So whenever you want to receive data or whenever you want some data from the server, from the data, you create a get request because you're getting the data. Yes, in the same manner, whenever you have some information and you want to send it to or add it to the database, you create a post request because you're posting your data. This same method is being used over here. So whenever the client requires something, he issues a get request where he gets the data from the server onto his client side. In the same way, whenever the client has some information, either the data be coming from a form or some user input or some changes that the user have made, yes, so this data has to be sent to the server and thereby to the database. So this data is sent using a post request. Yeah, so this data is sent using a post request. So this is a simple understanding how we should be able to use the get as well as the post. Also, to add additional information, so get request is used to send data using the URL. Yes, in the get request, the data is sent using the URL. For instance, you have // and then you have HTTP colon, you have your domain name, you have /, you have another root, and over here you have question mark. So here you have your ID is equal to probably 10 and name is Roy. Yes, so this is the method in which the data is being sent using get. So this is available in the URL and this is available for everyone to see. But in your post request, the data is being sent using the HTTP header. Yeah, so when the data is sent in the HTTP header, it is a more secure way where the data reaches your browser and your browser compiles your data and then displays it to the user. Now, suppose you have a form. Yeah, we have a form. And in this form I have name and I have age and then I have email. Yes, so I have name field, I have age field, I have email field, and then I have a submit button. Yeah, so here I have a submit button. Now when the user enters data within this, now when the user enters data as Roy and age as 22 and email as my email at gmail, yeah, .com. Yeah, so when I send this, you might ask, can we use get request or should we use post request? You should use get request only when you're receiving the data. Yes, but even if you send this form using the get request, your data will be sent. What's the difference is when you send data using the get request, your data will be sent to the server, but there is a catch over here. Your data will be visible in the URL. Whatever data is being sent is visible in the URL, and from the URL your data is sent. Whenever you are using form, you must use post. Post is the only right way to be sending data using the forms. Yes, so let us look at a practical, or let us look how it's actually sent from the system by writing code. Okay, so hopping onto our system, here I have written a simple code so to create a client server architecture. So here my server is my Node.js code as well as client is my browser. So here we have the simple code, which is my app.js. So over here, I've created two routes. One is a get route and one is a post route. So the get route will display a message. This is a get request response. And the post route will receive the data from the form and then send the data is sent to the server. So we are running this on port 3000. Also, if you want to learn how to send requests as well as perform CRUD operations, I have an entire playlist which I will be adding it in the description as well as in the cards over here, so you can check it out. Also, I have a form.html which will be serving statically, and this is sending the form's response to this route, which is a post route, and the method is post. So we have simple data, which is name, email, and age, and we have a submit button which submits the data. So let's fire up our server and see how this code is running. So I'm using NodeMon for this. So I will hit NodeMon. I will fire app.js. So here we can see that my server is running on this port. So let me go over here, click on this. Yes. So here we have a simple form. So first, let us see how the get request works. I've served this form on the home route, so we get it that way. So let me just copy the route for the get request. So which is get dot example. We copy this, create a new tab, and we hit localhost 3000 slash this route. So now when I hit enter, you get this is a get request response, and in my server you can see received a get request. So this is simple how we get request. So what is a get request? We are receiving the data from the server to my client side. So this request may either be a JSON format, or it might include an HTML form, or it might be a page. It can be any information. Whichever data comes from the server to my client side is a get response. Also, if you notice that this form is also a get request. If I show you over here, let me just close this. Over here you can see app.get on the home route. It is also getting this HTML form. Yes. So when I need the form to be rendered, I always use a get request. So let me add a comment over here just so that you understand. Yes. So this is my form get request. So now moving forward, let us fill the form and see how the data is generated or how the data is displayed. So I will fill my name. I will give my email as roy@test.com, and I will give my age as 22, and I will hit submit. So here you can see that it says data is sent to the server and the data is sent over the post route. So let us go and check my server to see if I've received the data. Let me open my terminal. Yes. So here I have the data which has been sent. So this data can be post processed and either added to the database. Any processing can be done on this data, post processing, and this can either be added to the database or again sent back to the client. Yes. So here I have the name which I had entered, my email as well as my age. Let me create another entry and see if it works. So let me go back, reload this form, and over name we will give the name as Samuel, and we will give his email as sam@test.com, and Sam's age is 18 years old. So let me hit submit. Again we have seen, and over here we have Samuel, Sam's email, and his age. Yes. So this is when you're sending a data using method as post. You can see that there's nothing given in the URL. All of this data is being sent to the HTTP headers itself. Now let us change this post to get. Yes, let me change this to get. Although we will get an error because I haven't created a get route over here for that specific page, but this form should work. Yes, let me reload this, and this time we will fill the data with my whole name, my email, which was again roy@test.com, and my age. So now look carefully at the URL. Although we get an error over here, you can see that the data is being sent completely through the URL. Yes. So we have post example. Because this route doesn't exist at get, we get an error. But over here, after this question mark, you can see whatever data I've entered in the form is available over here. My name is Kiran Roy Patravali. My email is given over here, as well as my age is given over here. Also, you can notice that there is no at the rate over here. It uses %40. Yes, because this is an ASCII way of sending the data over the URL. So this is the difference between using get and post request. So always you should use method as post, just so that your code is safely sent. So since we have changed it back to post, let me go and fill this form again. And here this time I will use the same name, Kiran Roy Patravali, and I will give my email as roy@gmail.com. Emails are supposed to start with lowercase. I hit submit. I'm sorry, I have to reload the server once. Yes. So now let me hit this thing and send it with roy@gmail.com. Okay, this time I've written gmail.com and age is 22. Let me hit submit. So we have data sent to the server. Let me open this, and again, here I have my data. Yes. So I hope this has made you clear how to use get request as well as post request, and all the form data has to be sent compulsorily using post request. You can also use another method called put, where you have to update data, but post does the same. Usually in industries, we use get and post usually. Put can also be used if you all want to use it. Yes, that's all for this video, guys. If you all have any doubts, you can ping it in the comment below. Also, I have a detailed video about Node.js, how to create an entire CRUD application using SQL, where you send data from the client and store it in SQL and retrieve this data. So you can go through the video to learn more about Node.js. That's all for this video, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.